a presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball, brought to you by the Gatemen Baseball Network in conjunction with the Cape Cod Baseball League.
As the summer of 2017 continues, the Wareham Gatemen are right in the middle of the Cape Cod Baseball League playoff race.
Line shot by Anchia. This one is back. It's far. Bye-bye baseball. A two-run homer for Jake Anchia.
Drives this one to deep right field. Heading back is Pompey. He's at the track, leaps and makes the play. What a play by Tristan Pompey.
Call strike three in the inside. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Canine.
Lines it right back up the middle for a base hit. On the first pitch, Baird rounds third. He's going to come home and score.
Metz sends it down the right field line. It's in for a base hit. Rounding third. Coming home is Duran. He will score. And the Wareham Gatemen are now winners of 5 in a row. The Gatemen walk it off. Spillane Field. How do you like? Aaron Duran had a 3-for-4 night. Blake Sable down in the bottom of the order had a 2-for-4 night. They had a chance in the ninth. Bases loaded. They already scored 2 runs in the ninth, and Ben Baird just couldn't get the job done on a 2-2 count. He looks at called strike 3 rather. So you had your chance in the ninth. You tried to make your comeback. It didn't work out. But there are some signs of this team moving in the right direction. But still, 5 games in a row they've lost.
Yeah, and it's certainly a tough spot in the Western Division standings right now. This whole division has really compact. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how everybody 1 through 4 had a chance at first place. Now, the Gatemen sit in this very troubling situation where they're 4 points out of the final spot, the number 5 spot in the West Division. They're much closer to dropping out of the playoffs than they are to first or even second place.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about where the Gatemen sit in the standings. You talk about 33 points in the Western Division, 4 points behind Cotuit for the 3rd spot, and then obviously Bourne and Falmouth have been back and forth on the season so far in terms of 1st and 2nd. I mean, everyone has really been in 1st and 2nd this whole season except for Hyannis, really, who has a negative 72 run differential. And you take a look at the Eastern Division, the top 4 teams have clinched playoff spots. I mean, Harwich has been eliminated from playoff contention because of the wins last night. So Orleans, YD, Chatham, and Brewster will all be in the playoffs this season.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is bananas that the East is set and the West, not a single team has clinched anything.
Exactly. And I tweeted this out this morning. On July 20th, the Wareham Gatemen were 3rd place in the Western Division with 31 points, 2 points behind Cotuit for first. 8 days later, just a week and a day later, 33 points, just 2 points more than they had 8 days ago, 7 points behind Bourne for first place. It's crazy.
It's all bananas here, and that's a really tight race in the West. What about the MVP race? This is the first time we're going to talk about this entire season. Guys all over the league, they're going to be future stars, but who's been your brightest performer this summer so far?
Well, I have 3 guys right now that are in contention for the MVP award. Obviously, one player wins it for the whole league, not like the All-Star game where you get an East and West MVP. One guy will win the MVP award. I have 3 people that I think can win it. And if this Falmouth team can finish in first place in the Western Division, I'm going to pick Alec Boehm out of Wichita State. He has just mashed this whole season. 358, 5 home runs, 28 RBIs. Has been solid defensively in the infield. He played 3rd base last night. We're going to see him tonight, and we're going to see him at first base tonight, rather. And he's just been so good at the plate. He is just one of the best raw power in the whole league. So I would pick him if the Falmouth Commodores can win the West. If in the East, Orleans stays at the top, which I believe can happen. But, hey, YD just 1 point behind them. Jimmy Herron, the outfielder. He was spectacular. Won the East MVP award in the All-Star game. Herron batting .351, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. He's also got 12 stolen bags as well. He is a dynamic center fielder for the Firebirds. And if Logan Gilbert doesn't win the Most Outstanding Pitcher of the Year award, well, maybe throw him in for the MVP race. He's also an Orleans Firebird. He's pitched 29 1/3 innings, a 1.22 ERA, and 29 strikeouts to 3 walks is pretty good. So those are my 3 guys right now that are in contention.
All right, and for more on today's matchup between the Wareham Gatemen and the home team, the Falmouth Commodores, we'll send it to the Gatemen Baseball Network, Sam Corman.
Thanks, Connor. Welcome into Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. I'm Sam Corman. We'll get you back out to Connor Federico and Jacob Toby for the game action at 6:30 with stops from Claudia Chikamian and Matt Feld in between. The Gatemen obviously fell in dramatic fashion to the Brewster Whitecaps back in Wareham last night, dropping the Gatemen's record to 16-20-1 and extending their losing streak to 5 games. Our Claudia Chikamian is with Kyle Kasser as the season comes down to an end.
Thank you, guys. I'm joined by Kyle. So, Kyle, good night for you and a lot of the Gatemen last night at the plate. You went 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. So, what would you say was really working for all of you guys since it was a good offensive spark?
I think we were finding ways to get guys on base, and we were able to capitalize with runners in scoring position. It's been one of our points where we struggled this year. We were able to get a couple of hits last night, and in the 9th we got some runners on, and we put up a fight and fought to the last out and came up just short.
Yeah, so 7 runs, 10 hits, but what do you think was the biggest issue? Do you think it was, not being able to get all those guys in scoring position, like you mentioned, like coming up short in the 9th, or what do you think was the biggest issue with that?
Like I said, we just came up just short, and 7 runs is usually enough to win a ball game, and pitching can't carry us every night, so we just fell a little short pitching-wise and a little short offensive-wise, and hopefully we can come out with a better result today.
So how do you think you guys can keep up that offensive spark tonight, and how will you try and do that? Because last time you guys were here, it ended in a 9-9 tie, so you're used to getting a lot of runs when you come here, so how can you keep that up again tonight?
I think we just need to stay relaxed and just keep doing what we're doing. Keep doing what we've been doing, and we've been swinging the bats pretty well lately, and we gotta stop it. We gotta just hit the pitches that we need to and take our walks and try and put the ball in play with 2 strikes.
How are you at this game, coming into this game, 5-game losing streak, and it could be pretty important. It's a division game, so how are you guys thinking and approaching this game?
We got to take it a pitch at a time. You got to do that every day, no matter how you played the day before. Or you can't think about the next day. You got to focus on this game and this pitch, and can't control anything else. So you just got to focus on the present.
Thank you, Kyle. Back to you, Sam.
8-7 was the final score of that game against Brewster last night. It was a very dramatic win for the Whitecaps, and it came down to the wire. Let's check out the highlights from that game with Connor Federico. The Gatemen return home to Spillane Field with hopes of snapping a 4-game losing streak dating back to last Friday at Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth, Dennis. It took on the Brewster Whitecaps last night, and we'll pick it up with Connor Federico's call in the top half of the 2nd inning.
Goes behind McIver. The runner will break towards the plate, and Hunter Bishop will score this game's first run. Wareham falls behind to Brewster. 2 consecutive wild pitches from Justin Montgomery. 3 wild pitches so far for Montgomery. The 1-2. Ground ball. It gets by Duran. It'll be an RBI base hit for A.J. Graffinino. Brewster leads 2-0 in the 2nd inning. Dodson against Chandler Taylor. Line drive, left field. Don Topa chases it. He can't get to it. 1 run's going to score. Rounding third and heading for home is Julian Infante. The play at the plate, not in time. A 2 RBI double for Chandler Taylor. Brewster leads 4-0.
The Gatemen were in need of a quick response after their ace, Justin Montgomery, was knocked out after 1 1/3 innings pitched. And hitting from Blake Sable, a good at-bat from Ben Baird, followed by a walk to Stephen Kwan, allowed Kyle Kasser to be in position to knock in some runs.
Loop shot into left center field. It's going to drop. Sable scores. Rounding third, heading for home is Baird. He scores. The ball gets away. Stephen Kwan breaks for third. It's a 2 RBI single with 2 outs for Kyle Kasser.
Well, when you bat cleanup, you get big time up for RBIs, and Jaron Duran recently moved up to that 4-hole, capitalized on an opportunity with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning.
Line drive, base hit into left center. Kwan scores. Kasser's heading home. McIver is getting the stop sign at third. This ball game is tied. A 2 RBI double by Jaron Duran. It's an 8-run 2nd inning, and it's not even over yet.
The Gatemen successfully were able to knock out Paulie Milto early in this game. Washington's Joe Demers came in to clean up after him and he was not much more successful than Milto was. Stephen Kwan on second base for Kyle Kasser.
Here into center field. Bishop chasing, sliding, can't make the play. Stephen Kwan rounds third. He's going to score. Kyle Kasser has his third RBI of the night. The Gatemen take a 5-4 lead.
The lead against Brewster did not last for long as Chandler Taylor, doing what he does best, knocking out his 8th home run of the season off of Tanner Dodson in the 5th inning.
The Alabama product hits one deep in the left field, but chasing, looking up, it's gone. Brewster gives up the lead, but takes it right back. Chandler Taylor, a 2-run shot. 6-5 Whitecaps.
Brewster ultimately extended their lead to 8-5 in the 7th inning. One last opportunity in the 9th, and boy, did they give Connor McNamara and Matthew Beck a run for their money.
Line drive into right field, it's going to fall. Scoring is Duran. Topa gets the wave around. No, he'll retreat back to third base. A really smart base running move by John Topa, thanks to an incredible throw out of right field from Chandler Taylor. That would have gotten him for sure. Blake Sable keeps this game moving, and now it's in the hands of Ben Baird.
That 2 RBI single from Sable made it an 8-7 game with 2 outs in the 9th. Ben Baird, with the bases loaded, had a huge opportunity to end the game, but Matthew Beck, a seasoned pitcher from LSU, got the job done.
2-2. Beck deals. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. And that's how this one ends at Spillane Field. Brewster 8, Wareham 7.
It was certainly one of the toughest losses for the Gatemen this season, and it came to the hands of the Whitecaps in the team's final meeting of the season. Let's send it to break here on the Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. When we return, we'll run through today's starting pitchers for the Gatemen and the Commodores.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent-care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent-care.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. Sam Corman kicking off this live broadcast of a crucial division matchup with the Falmouth Commodores and a crucial pitching matchup in the cards. After an uncharacteristic outing from Justin Montgomery yesterday, UConn's Mason Fioli is taking the hill for the Gatemen today at Gov Fuller Field. The Rhode Islander has been solid in his last 2 outings, striking out 10 batters in 8 innings pitched, including a 5-inning shutout performance in Brewster last week. Fioli comes in with a 4.32 ERA in 6 appearances this season. The Commodores are coming off a 4-2 loss at Veterans Field at the hands of the Chatham Anglers last night. James MacArthur is at the helm, trying to bring Falmouth to a rebound win. The New Braunfels, Texas native, is 9-7 with a 4.50 ERA in 2 seasons with the Ole Miss Rebels. Look for his fastball to sit around 92 miles an hour with a complimentary slow slider running in the high 70s. MacArthur has a 3.37 ERA thus far in the CCBL with 18 strikeouts and 10 walks. Let's send it back to our Claudia Chicamian, who's with head coach Don Snedden. Claudia?
Thank you, guys. I'm joined by Gatemen head coach Don Snedden. So, Coach, last night the biggest issue was the pitching. So what do you hope Mason Fioli can go out there and do tonight? Last time he pitched, he was going off only 3 days rest, didn't pitch a lot. So what do you hope he can do today with a little more rest?
Well, just pitch the way he has been pitching. He's been doing a great job, throwing strikes, and that was the thing he needed to work on early in the year. He's come back and done a great job, so we're hoping to get some good innings out of him tonight.
7 runs, 10 hits for you guys last night. How do you hope that they can continue that tonight? We've seen when you've had the offensive spark one game during the season, you can't continue it that often the next day. So how do you hope they can do that tonight?
Well, again, it just depends on who's on their mound. I mean, that their pitcher dictates what kind of offense you're going to have. Good pitching stops good hitting. If you got a good pitcher out there, we aren't going to score or hit 10 hits. So you just got to take advantage of the hits when you get them. And hopefully they make an error or we get a walk on and you get a hit and it means a couple runs. But, in this league, pitching dictates basically what's going to happen in this game.
The last time you guys were here, the game ended in a 9-9 tie after 12 innings. So how do you want to make sure you guys can kind of get ahead and get that lead early so you hopefully the game doesn't go 12 innings again tonight?
Yeah, no, we don't want to go 12 because, we got a lot of games backed up in here. So, we just hope to be ahead after 9. That's what we're looking forward to.
And big game tonight. Are you guys focused at all at trying to knock off that losing streak you guys are having? Or you just, like you've been telling me all season, just it's a new day, take it one game at a time?
Yeah, it's just we don't emphasize that. We can't control what happened yesterday. We can't control what's happening tomorrow. We can only control today. So our emphasis today is winning a ball game.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you.
Thanks, Claudia. Let's take you around the Cape. The Gatemen are playing game 38 of 44 tonight, while the Doors are playing game 39 of the season. The Chatham Anglers are in YD right now. That game started at 5 p.m. We'll update you throughout the night on that one. Brewster Whitecaps at the Bourne Braves. That game starts at 6 p.m. at Doran Park. 6:30 p.m. the Katuitt Kettleers travel to Harwich to take on the Mariners. That's at 6:30 as well. 7 p.m. Hyannis Harbor Hawks taking on the Orleans Firebirds at Eldridge Park. And now it's time to run through the starting lineups brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn. For the visiting Wareham Gatemen, Oregon State Stephen Kwan leading off at DH. Jaron Duran out of Long Beach State, second base, he'll bat second. Kyle Kasser's at third base out of Oregon, he'll bat third. William McIver hitting cleanup, catching out of Washington. Robbie Metz, George Washington in right field, batting fifth. John Topa is batting sixth. He's in left field out of UConn. Batting seventh is Blake Sable from USC. He's at first base. George Washington's Nate Fosnot is the shortstop. He's batting eighth. Nick Angelini rounding out the Gateman order, batting ninth from Bryant in center field. And for the Falmouth Commodores, Clayton Daniel leading off at second base. Austin Langworthy, the left fielder, will hit second. Wichita State's Alec Boehm will bat third from first base. Texas A&M's George Yancha batting fourth at third base. Trevor Larnack out of Oregon State in right field will bat fifth. Logan Davidson out of Jacksonville State in Alabama is at shortstop and will bat sixth. Adley Rutschman is catching and he'll bat seventh. Josh Watson, the DH, will bat eighth, and Missouri State's Hunter Steinmetz is batting ninth in center field. Let's welcome Matt Feld. How you doing, Matt?
What's going on, Sam?
Oh, not much. It's a beautiful day here in Falmouth.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, the weather is just crisp. I was a little worried we get some rain today, but not so much. Partly cloudy with a slight breeze. Just a perfect day for baseball here in Falmouth.
So let's talk injury. Tristan Pompey, Noah Zavalis, what do you got?
Well, Tristan Pompey is going home for the season. He will leave tomorrow morning. His shoulder has been iffy all season long. Re-injured it last week, sliding into second base. So he's going to go home for the season, and that's going to be the end of him, unfortunately. A really tough blow for the Gatemen offense. They already struggle to hit for power. And when you take the most potent hitting, from a power standpoint out of the lineup, that's a really tough blow. Noah Zavalis, he's okay. He threw a bullpen today. He'll throw another tomorrow, and he will start on Monday against the Katuitt Kettleers.
And we've seen different guys stepping up throughout the entire season. More recently, it's been Blake Sable. What do you think of him so far in the past week or so?
Sable's really improved. Had a big hit last night in the ninth inning, an RBI single to right field. Had a double a couple of days ago into the left center field. Got a triple, against Hyannis that allowed the Gatemen to score a run in that fourth inning of that game. He's improved defensively at first base, and he's someone, if he can get going, that's a big boost because he's always had some power from the left-hand side of the plate.
Now, when he goes back to USC, do you think that they'll try to use him more as a first baseman or a catcher?
Well, I don't know the insights of the USC baseball program, so I can't really help you out with that. I do know that the Gatemen are going to look to add some players down the stretch here. A couple of pitchers are on their ways in. Head coach Don Sneddon just told me, and there will be an outfielder on his way in as well. Not sure of the names as of yet, but the Gatemen are looking at least 2 arms and an outfielder before the postseason hopefully begins for them on August 5th.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it always. And the Gatemen Baseball Network would like to remind you that you can contact us anytime by emailing pressbox@gatemen.org. Please feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Make sure you're keeping up in action 24/7 by following the Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Playoff race really tight. You can send us your late season predictions here in the Cape Cod Baseball using the Twitter hashtag WildWestCCBL.
Lori's favorite Star Wars quote by Yoda: "Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose." Now please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last?
Troubles here on the road. We'll try to keep you updated as often as we can. We're bringing you a nice broadcast tonight. We're doing as well as we possibly can with the internet that they give us here in Falmouth, and we're just going to make our way through this one, Jacob.
We always do, don't we? Every field has some sort of issue, whether it's Wi-Fi or other things, but we always get our act together. It's always a fun night for us, bringing you Wareham Gatemen Baseball. And tonight is Star Wars night here at Gov Fuller Field. So I saw Yoda over there.
No way.
Yeah, Yoda's over there with the kids. They were on the field for the national anthem. I've seen a couple other characters popping around. It's going to be a fun night at the ballpark. This place is always rocking. They've got a good crowd here tonight.
A last-minute lineup change for the Falmouth Commodores has taken place. And Alec Boehm, one of the star players for this Falmouth Commodores, a West Division All-Star, a starter in the All-Star game back at Spillane a couple of days ago. He's out of the lineup. He'll be replaced by Marty Bakina, who has done a ton of damage here at Gov Fuller Field, but not much against the Gatemen.
No, Bakina this season against the Gatemen in 4 games just batting .125. He does have 2 RBIs, though, so you have to keep watch for him, but he has struck out 7 times against the Gatemen.
All right, so here we are at the Gov, a beautiful night for baseball. And the Falmouth Commodores, they are in their red Cape Cod Red Shirt Fridays attire, a great thing that the league does to honor those who have served in the military. And the Gatemen, they're in their road blues and gray pants. We'll see Stephen Kwan, Jaron Duran at the top of the order tonight, and Kyle Kasser, all of those guys extremely hot, hitting over .350 in their last 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for much more than your leadoff hitter, Stephen Kwan, getting on base, and he's done just that. I mean, last night, 2 for 3, started off the game with the single. Second time in a row he's done that. I mean, he scored 2 runs. He had a double. He has just been your guy that's gotten on base. He's been the most consistent hitter since he got to Wareham.
A Gatemen team looking for a little more consistency right now. They went on that 5-game winning streak. It was so much fun for us. Fast forward, turn the page. 5 games later, they're the loser of 5 straight contests. Some against the West, some against the East. This is a critical West Division battle tonight. Yeah,
I told you in the pregame, and I'll say it one more time for people that are just tuning into the broadcast. On July 20th, the Wareham Gatemen were in 3rd place in the Western Division, 31 points. 2 points behind Katuitt for first. 8 days later, a week and 1 day later, 33 points for the Gatemen, 7 points behind Bourne for first place. It's been just a complete turnaround here for the Wareham Gatemen in those 8 days. We've seen a 5-game win streak and now a 5-game losing streak. Weird baseball. We've seen great baseball. We've seen not so good baseball. Now the Falmouth Commodores finally take the field, and we're ready for a win tonight.
We are ready for baseball here. James MacArthur wearing number 39 tonight. He will take the mound for the Falmouth Commodores. He stands 6'7", 230 pounds. The Ole Miss Rebel had a 4.73 ERA this spring, a 3-6 record, 60 strikeouts. He's certainly improved since he's gotten to the Cape this summer.
Yeah, and he pitched against Wareham not too long ago, and Falmouth actually got the win 8-4 in that his start. He went 5 innings, only let up an earned run, faced 20 batters in that one, and looked pretty good. So he knows this lineup a tad bit. It changed just slightly after all the changes coming in from, Stephen Kwan, Oregon State, guys like that. But he should be a fun guy to watch today. He's really big, 6'7".
There's only one player in each starting 9 tonight that has not seen the other team. It's going to be Nate Fosnot, the shortstop for the Gatemen. He bats 8th, has not seen Falmouth yet. And on the other side, it's the 2-batter for Falmouth, Austin Langworthy. He plays left field, a really explosive player out of Florida that the Gatemen haven't had the chance to face yet. But, man, he is supposed to be quite the talent.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. We've heard he's a great defensive player, and there's a reason why he's hitting in the 2-hole and playing left field. I mean, he is going to be something special to watch. 291 on the season in just 14 games played, 55 at bats, so he hasn't even been here that long, and he's been raking.
Stephen Kwan, Jaron Duran, Kyle Kasser, Willie McIver, Robbie Metz, John Topa, Blake Sable, Nate Fosnot, Nick Angelini. That's the lineup for the Gatemen tonight. Sam Corman gave it to you in the pregame. Sort of the usual suspects, but the Gatemen for the third straight night without Tanner Dodson in the lineup.
No, talking to head coach Don Snedden before the game, Dodson dealing with a bit of a knee issue, trying to get him some rest after playing basically every game since, I believe, around June 28th. So he has been playing every single day. He's been the Gatemen's best hitter, and he deserves a couple days off.
Here we go, ready for first pitch between the Falmouth Commodores and the visiting Wareham Gatemen. Live from Gov Fuller Fields, Connor Federico and Jacob Toby with you through tonight's action. Here is Stephen Kwan to face James MacArthur. The first pitch, Kwan pulls back a bunt, called strike one, and we are underway at the Gov.
I feel like we say that every time, Connor. Kwan pulls back the bunt on the first pitch. He'll always show bunt.
75 degrees, winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour tonight. And Kwan now down 0-2, fouls this one away. Humidity 80% at first pitch, and you think that's high. It's only going to keep rising.
Is it?
It's supposed to be 95% humidity by 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, Lord.
Sunset at 8:03. Thank you for joining us. 6:02 on the East Coast. The Falmouth Commodores and the Wareham Gatemen. Stephen Kwan steps out before the 0-2 pitch. This isn't something we see Kwan do often, get behind in the count like this. Good for MacArthur.
Yeah, great for MacArthur, 0-2.
Here is the 0-2 to Stephen Kwan. Fly ball, shallow center. Steinmetz makes the catch. It's the first out of the inning. So 3 pitches and 1 out for James MacArthur. That's going to be a key for him. It was a key the last time he saw this Gateman offense. He went 5 innings of 1-run baseball. He really was efficient.
Yeah, and he got ahead in the count. And may I just say real quick, Connor, that was the best weather report we have seen on the Gatemen Baseball Network this season. You gave humidity, you gave miles per hour on the winds, even the direction of the winds.
Thank you.
I mean, wow, I'm jealous.
Well, I mean, the wind is sort of a factor here at the Gov. The walls are very close to home plate compared to the other parks. Jaron Duran steps in and takes ball 1. Duran, we've seen him the past couple of nights in the 4-hole. He was very successful there yesterday. 2 RBIs and 3 base hits for Duran in the 4-hole. He now moves to the 2-hole. Spot Tanner Dodson has been in. And now this is called strike 1. Duran, the Long Beach State Dirtbag. They're the 49ers for all other sports. Dirtbags are a great name for baseball.
One of my favorites.
Shows a little grit, but also, you know, it's got to do with the game. Swing and a miss off speed by Duran, and that's going to be strike 2. MacArthur again works ahead early.
You'll see if MacArthur goes with some off-speed stuff here. He has some pitches to work with the 1-2 count. Try to get Duran swinging and missing on an off-speed breaking ball.
Jaron Duran is 0 for 8 against the Falmouth Commodores this season. The 1-2 barely misses on the outside corner, framed by Rutschman. Talking about outs, Rutschman, he doesn't have the best arm in the world, but he's really known for his ability to frame pitches.
He tried to frame it up right there. Just couldn't get the call from John Putalo, the home plate umpire tonight.
The 2-2 from MacArthur. Lined into left field. Chasing it is Langworthy, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, talking to head coach Don Snedden before this game about Jaron Duran in that 4-hole, which we've seen him the past 2 times. I mean, he was saying doesn't matter if your 4-hitter hits home runs or gets on base any other way. As much as he's been the best hitter on this team, in Don Snedden's mind, he's going to put him in that 4-hole. That's where he thinks Duran's at his best. He's at the 2 spot tonight.
Kyle Kasser, he's basically the opposite of Duran against Falmouth. He is 5 for 10 with 2 RBIs against the Commodores this summer. He stands in to face James MacArthur. Takes ball 1 down low in a scoreless ball game with 2 outs, no runners on base in the top of the first.
And Sneddon was saying, back when I was playing in college, we didn't have guys that could hit home runs, so our best hitter, our singles hitter, was in the cleanup spot.
Here's the 1-0. Soft shot into right field, and it's going to drop right in front of Marty Bikina. Kyle Kasser is aboard with a single. Good piece of 2-out hitting there by the Gatemen third baseman.
I mean, he was 3 for 5 last night, 3 RBIs and a run scored. He's been on a nice little stretch here these past couple games, Kyle Kasser, and coming in to the season out of Oregon, we knew he could play the positions defensively in the infield, and he's stepped up at the plate as of recently.
McIver takes a sign from the dugout, and Don Sneddon. Kyle Kasser is aboard on first base. First base runner of the night for either team here in the top of the first. MacArthur will work out of the stretch for the first time today. McIver with the bat on his back shoulder. Takes ball 1. So Kasser gets ahead 1-0, and here is McIver doing the same thing. McIver, he has a home run on the season here against the Falmouth Commodores at Gov Fuller Field. Kasser leads over at first. This pitch is down in the dirt, blocked by Rutschman. Now the count moves to 2-0. McIver will take some more signs from the dugout. Good crowd on hand tonight for Falmouth. That bleacher is packed completely, and similar to Orleans, you have fans that bring their own lawn chairs and sit up on the hill.
The French fries smell lovely as well. I think our producer has some. Matt Weasel there, one of our producers.
Kasser has a good lead over at first, a pickoff throw, and he's just in safely. Trevor Larnick receiving that pickoff throw at first. He was supposed to start in right field tonight. I don't think Marty Bikina even took infield, outfield before the game in right field. That might have been a factor why he got such a slow start charging in on that ball from Kasser.
Yeah, and also Larnick has been at first base this year as well as last year with the Falmouth Commodores, and play stops for a moment because Mike Collier over the umpire at first telling the kids to get off the field down that first baseline near the bullpen.
Kasser at first, McIver at the plate. Here's the 2-0, taken high and inside. Now 3-0. McIver will take some signs, some more. Is this a green light situation?
2 balls and no strikes. I mean, possibly. Now 3 balls and no strikes, excuse me. But we'll see if he takes it.
The 3-0 is taken for strike 1, just barely clipping the inside corner. MacArthur in white pants, the stirrup socks. And you see his original Falmouth socks going along with the sort of bright reds from the Cape Cod Baseball League. We're wearing our bright reds tonight here at the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We always support the military. They do so much.
Kasser digs in at first. McIver digs in at the batter's box. Runner goes, high pop-up. In foul territory. Coming on, the third baseman Yancha near the Gatemen dugout, and he's got it. So Willie McIver retired into foul territory for the 3rd out of the inning. The Gatemen get a hit, but strand Kyle Kasser at first at the end of a half inning. Still 0-0. You're listening to Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at south.org/urgent care.
The Down East Lobster Roll combos are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back at the Gov, the home of the Falmouth Commodores, and the Commodores will take their swing starting with Clayton Daniel, Austin Langworthy, and Trevor Larnick. The rest of the lineup goes with George Yancha, Logan Stinson, Marty Bakina, Adley Rutschman, Josh Watson, Hunter Steinmetz, and James MacArthur is the pitcher. He will face Mason Fioli in that high left kick from the freshman lefty out of UConn.
Yeah, 6'2", 104 pounds with a very, very high and deceptive leg kick. I love watching this kid pitch. He's young, he's talented. You can tell just out of the stuff he has. I mean, he struggled last time out versus the YD Red Sox in the start. He got the loss, but he had 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. He was really on the upswing in that game, and then some other things happened. A couple errors on the defensive side of things, let a couple runs score, but he's been very, very good this season for how young he is, one of the youngest players in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
He stands 6'2", 180 pounds. The first batter he'll face, 5'7", 170-pound Clayton Daniel, but he has a ton of pop in his bat, hitting .500, 10 for 20, with 7 runs scored in his last 5 games. He takes called strike 1 from Mason Fioli on his first pitch. It's really amazing how Fioli is able to balance himself with a high leg kick such as that. It reaches about his chest.
Very deceptive.
The 0-1, swung on, hit hard into center field. The center fielder is chasing it, and Angelini makes the catch near the wall. Really great athletic play by Nick Angelini. That's the first out of the inning.
But the little guy, Clayton Daniel, gives this ball a hard hit out to center field, and I was to Daniel at the All-Star game at Spillane Field. I walked up to him and did not realize that he is very, very short. I'm taller than him. I'm 6 feet. Like you said, he's under 6 feet. So, very nice guy. He's enjoyed his time here on the summer. It was nice talking to him.
We're both taller than the next batter as well, Austin Langworthy, and he takes called strike. Ground ball, it gets through safe infield. Picked up by Robbie Metz in right, and it's going to be a base hit for Trevor Larnick. That could have been a double play ball if Sable was at his normal positioning. He was covering the bag at first, and it gets infield.
And also Langworthy, the runner, kind of shading the sight of Sable in front of that baseball. Sable couldn't move